And now, stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball Podcast.
Hello, welcome to another edition of the Talking Basketball Podcast. I am Mark.
I am Paul. Hello, and we got a guest, Mark.
We've got a guest on the line.
Nottingham legend, National League, Div 1, Div 2, Div 3, Div 4, with the hoods, the lights, and the hustlers. It's Bruce Lauder.
Welcome back, Bruce.
Hey guys.
Bruce, what number did you used to play?
My number this time.
Number 7.
That's right.
There we go.
He'd never forget that, Bruce.
Never forget it, will he?
Never. That's etched in his brain.
Well, look, Mark, I have got a story, and we got Bruce with us to enjoy it as well. And I want to talk about table officials.
Table officials. So these are the people that sit in the centre of the court most of the time, I believe.
And they're either doing the actual scoreboard where it's on the table or above, or the actual scorebook.
Or putting the little cone out to say how many team fouls they got as well.
And I'm going to start this segment by doing this. That's a long buzzer, isn't it?
Yep.
Anyway, right.
Heard a few of them.
I'm going to talk about... I wonder if I'm allowed to talk about this.
Why not?
Yeah, screw it. So, the Portsmouth Force had a game against the Bracknell Cobras. And in the fourth quarter, this is a tight game. And the Portsmouth Force go to the line and they get a free throw. It goes in. It's not written down in the table official book, in the actual official scorebook, but it is pressed on the scoreboard. So everyone sees the scoreboard, doesn't think anything. Portsmouth Force then get the ball, hit a 3. On the scorebook, 3 points get put in. On the score table, like the actual scoreboard, 2 points only get put up. And that's when the coach, the staff say, hang on, we just hit a 3, what's going on? Ref stops the game, what's going on? And it's like, well, this is what the book says. And the book says that this is the score and everyone's wrong. And it's like, oh, okay. Long story short, the game continues. Portsmouth lose by 1 point. Then the video is reviewed because they record all their games. And they realise that free throw should have counted and wasn't put in the scorebook. So it should have gone into overtime. And now I just think that's a really interesting story because as a ref, if there is any discrepancies, I would have gone to the table and gone, what does the book say? And you're taught this as a ref. You go with the book. But one person can make human error. So I thought this was a great podcast.
Like everyone's made an error there, surely.
It's just the book. The book's wrong. The refs would... Yes, yeah, you're right. So the refs could just logically go back and go, hang on, yes, he did score a 3 there. Yes, there was a 2 point and a 1 point and a free throw, whatever. You should be able to go back 3-4 plays and see that and go, hang on, I can't see that free throw in the book. Where's that?
If you're forgetting a shot during a game, maybe that's one thing, but forgetting a free throw in particular,
because it's written in the book uniquely, isn't it?
Well, also you would just remember the game stopping, someone going to the line, the ref gets the ball, they have their little 2 seconds of glory before they can hand the ball over. You know, refs like it to be about them, don't they?
But it just highlighted to me that
I don't know who would want to be a ref. I really don't. But anyway.
In theory, that the table person who's doing the book, if there's a human error there, that can decide a game.
Any experience with this, Bruce?
Oh yeah, I've been on both sides where there's been the scoreboard says one thing, the book says another thing. You know, I've had the experience where we've been 3 points up, we've held the ball, they've hit a 3 to tie it, and they've gone to the scoreboard. Turns out we lost by 2.
Okay.
That was an interesting one. But then I've been on the other side where we've kind of felt all deflated because we've seen the scoreboard, and actually what we didn't realise is at half time there was a sort of, we'll call them an apprentice, let's be fair to them. they'd swap the scores over because we changed directions.
Yeah.
Oh, that is amazing.
I've had that. Yeah.
How we lost that game? We were up at half time, and then
So they were thinking that score is for that basket only, not for the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that's
they're
wonderful.
pressing. Say they're pressing the right side for the team going right way, and then they just carry on that logic in the second half.
Yeah, I just.
Hey, Bruce.
Brilliant.
You know what? Like I the local team that I played for was called the Portsmouth Fury, and we got asked. It's not here anymore, but there's a prison in Portsmouth. Or was a prison called Kingston Prison, and basically you only got in there if you were a lifer. Okay. And it was the typical huge walls. Anyway, we got asked to play them in a game of basketball. So the Fury turn up, rock up, ready to roll. One of the players literally came from it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. One player rocked up with two girls he pulled from a club, and the guards were like, if they come in here, there will be a riot.
Yeah.
You can't come in here. And it was like, okay. Anyway,
They were suitably dressed as well, weren't they?
I imagine so. Yeah.
we walked out. It was on the like the court, like the outdoor, like the courtyard. Yeah. And as we walked out, you had all the cell blocks. So intimidating. I mean, that's probably the most intimidated I've probably been in a basketball game. All the cell blocks looking over you, and then you could just hear all the prisoners shouting, "Kill him, Kingston!" And you're like, wow. Anyway, they were called the Kingston Killers.
Weren't they?
And at half time, we were beating them by like 30. And that's exactly what happened. Second half started, and the guy doing the scoreboard started putting our score, their score kind of swapped. And we stopped. And this guy on the table, "You think I'm making a mistake?" And we're like, no, that's all right, mate. That's all right.
You crack on. You do whatever you like.
Said that you were.
Yeah. Whatever you feel like doing, press it as many times as you like.
Oh dear! I remember another one playing against Mark Jackson in Winchester, and not that anyone knows this other than a few people, but when I play, I have a plus or a minus in my head. I'm not looking at the score, but as I'm going, if we score a basket, +2, we score another +4, and that's all I'm going in my head all the time. We were up by about 22, and in my head I'm like, +22, here we go. And I looked up and think, yeah, +22. I think Mark Jackson hit a 3, and then someone else hit a 3. So I was like, okay, they've reduced it by 6 points. I look up, and it's like a 4-point game. I'm like, what just happened there? And I said to the table, stop the game, because it was like, what's going on? Because I was coaching as well. What's going on? No, I don't make mistakes. All right.
I mean, we've talked.
They won by 4, I think.
Well, there's an episode coming up with Bruce. Gotta go check it out. It's a really good one. Bruce, we talked about FIBA officiating. How does that work? Because obviously these are all international games. So what happens in those instances?
So most of them, it varies tournament to tournament, but most of the come from the home nation, or you can actually apply to be a FIBA referee. So as part of FIBA GB, we do have a guy that is a FIBA GB ref that goes to these tournaments as well.
Oh, really?
Ironically, he can't ref our games, but the home nation can have the home nation refs do their games.
That's weird.
Read into that what you want.
So if there was a UK tournament, if UK were hosting a FIBA tournament, it could be UK refs.
The majority would probably be UK refs, and then there'd be a few invites as well from other organisations, or they have one registered with the FIBA organisation in that country to come with them.
So no bias there at all.
No, definitely not.
I don't know if this is a stupid question, but is that a paid gig? It's got to be a paid gig, right, for the ref?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, they're not going to retire on it because they're still reffing. But yeah, they do get a little bit thrown their way. I think it's all covered by the tournament. The tournament fees that the teams have to pay for is the venues, it's the medics and the referees. I think the tables do it voluntarily, and the scorers do it voluntarily. But yeah, the refs get a little bit. Not always. I mean, some of them just do it because they love being part of the game and they love these big international tournaments that they wouldn't get a chance to ref as in their normal day-to-day lives as well.
So that must be quite difficult if you've got an international game and you're playing where you go, all right, first we've got a language barrier that we're going to jump over here, even if you're reasonably fluent or whatever. But moreover, if this is like you're in a different country and you're playing that home team, it's like, yeah, this is never going to go my way. If it's any officiating, table, anything. I didn't see that. I forgot to write it down. Sorry.
It's like you turn up and it's like, we don't just have to win. We got to win by 20, even if there's 2 minutes left.
You've got to have that gap, haven't you?
Yeah. There are games that you start where you know that is the situation. Absolutely. But I think that's the same everywhere you go. To be honest, I think it's even harder at the National League level because referees can't really afford the travel that they have to go to now to get to all these games. So you do typically get home refs, and some of them are more home-based than others, shall we say.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember I was at one game in Sheffield where somehow between the table official and the referee, I got my one and only technical foul in my entire career for getting stamped on in the face.
What?
So you got stamped on?
I got stamped on and then got the technical foul on me.
How dare you, Bruce? Let someone tread on your face.
Why would you put your face in front of someone's, try to harm their foot with your face?
I know. It's just so weird. My face isn't that big. I didn't have this side of forehead back then. Had a hairline. There's a loose ball. I've noticed now you're taking your cap off. It was a loose ball and me being me, doing my best Dennis Rodman impression, threw myself at it to save it. Might have hit the table a little bit. And then the Sheffield player's foot came and hit me on the face. And then I saw, obviously he then stumbled and I saw this other foot coming towards me. So I immediately went to guard my face from being kicked.
That's a natural movement as well.
Natural movement. But I tripped this guy up. So I stood up and I've still got the scar. There's in my eyebrow here. I had blood pouring down my face as the ref teased me up because he's chatted into the table officials. Oh yeah, he tripped that guy up.
Oh, what? The ref, he asked for their opinion.
Yeah, he said.
That's the perfect story for this.
But what did you see? And he said, "Oh, I saw the what was it? Knights back there. It was the Knights number 7 trip up our boy."
Do
our
table
boy,
officials?
The word they used.
Our boy. Oh yeah. Okay. Not biased at all then.
No.
So do table officials have any power? Can they do that? Can they say what's your opinion?
If the referee asks the opinion, then I suppose they have to.
I've never been in that position.
I haven't. It's the one and only time I've had that experience. It didn't go my way.
The one thing as a ref I remember being taught was if there's any discrepancy with the score, you go with the book. That is standard. However, I've also reffed games where a coach will question the book and it'll go, okay, I know the last 3 or 4, 5 plays in my head and who scored what, roughly who scored it as well. And I've looked at it and gone, that guy hit a 3 like 2 plays ago. That's not in there. Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. And we've worked that out. That's not difficult. I've never asked the opinion of the
table, because they're I want to say not being rude to them. They're there to record it. That's it. Your job is to. That's it. If the ref says 2 points, that's in. Done. You put it down.
I've heard, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully. This is me just being observant. I've heard
total disrespect coming.
Table officials wanting to be having their voice heard and go, no, that was definitely a foul. It's like, well, that's not your position. Let the ref deal with it. You like, that's not. You shouldn't have an opinion unless, I guess, based on what Bruce said, the ref asked for it. But I don't even know if they. I don't know. I'm going to ask a ref that one.
Are they interactive in international games, Bruce, or are they more the silent party?
No, they interact a lot more with the typically the coaches by telling them, "Can you stop standing in my way? I'm meant to be watching this game, please." As the coach is sort of pacing up and down the sideline and then stands front and centre while the table officials trying to watch what's going on. That's what we get.
How many officials? You said there's like 3 refs, obviously, for an international game, but how many table officials are there?
Again, it varies tournament because some of them do stats.
It depends on, I think, what level you're doing, because I think you can have up to like, I think at least it's 2. Sorry, the least is 2, but that's going to be like local league.
Yeah.
But you can have up to 7
statisticians
people
and all sorts as well, can't you?
Yeah, I think it's 7. You've got 5 who sit next to each other, then 2 slightly behind the ones on the wings, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you've got one person running it, and one person sort of watching assists, one watching rebounds, one watching steals, and so on, just saying steal 7 blues, steal 12 white, whatever.
I can't remember what the guys do on the back wings. I can't remember, but I remember it from the reffing
Yeah, I've seen
courses and stuff.
Yeah, it's we hardly had any stats in our day. The odd game got stats, but now you sort of look at the table that used to have a scorer and a table official, and now it just seems to go on. You know, there's players are almost sat in the corners now because there isn't the space on the sideline that it used to be.
I mean, with stuff like this, you just said that they videoed that game.
I just thought of a worse one, actually. I'll come back to it.
If they videoed that game, is there, I mean, they've had VAR and stuff in football for a while now, and obviously tennis, it's a whole thing. In the NBA, they do the let's go to the Titantron and have a look back now.
No, they're not going to. Like, I've seen it where people go, look at this, T, straight away.
But
actually, you had one in the NBA. Who was that guy in the NBA? Where, look at that. And he got teed up. Was it LeBron? Oh, it might have been LeBron. Yeah. So a player got a camera out and said, "Look, there's the foul." Teed up.
Yeah, it was the guy's camera, wasn't it? Yeah, it was LeBron.
I coached a local league cup final, Portsmouth Southampton, and they were filming it. So it was extremely professional, like cameras everywhere, all that. It was great. But one of the things with that is I got to review the game, and some of the calls, you could look at it. There was one which one of our guys got called a charge, and it was never a charge in the world, and he actually got hacked like 3 times, and then he got called a charge, and I sent it.
It's a moving.
I sent it to one of the refs and said, what call do you think this is? It was called a charge. But that's what the beauty of cameras is you can go back and review.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got to have a little bit of fluidity in the game. It has to have that movement in the game. You can't be stop, start. But at the same time, most people will look at that and go, this is a X, this is a Y. It's pretty clear. You can't be getting scores wrong. How are you doing that? I just don't get it.
I actually looked this up online and see how common it is. It's actually really common,
really?
Especially in the UK, actually. There was one guy
That's
on some forum.
That's about right.
And
Yay, TV.
He actually commented on a specific National League team, and I don't think it's fair saying the name, but I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah, you will.
But he was like, when it's a close game, they've got a table advantage. And I was like, wow. And he goes, this isn't the first time. It may not be deliberate. Maybe it's just someone's looking down, doing something.
Never knowingly cheated.
I've just missed that 3 that's gone in. I don't know. But I got a great table official story for you. So this was Portsmouth versus Bournemouth. And we were playing, and we were up by 2 points. And I remember the play because I gave the ball to a guy under the basket, and he scored. We go up by 2. Look over at the clock, and there's 1 second left on the clock. Okay, I think at this point the table scoreboard loses all power, doesn't work. So everyone knows we're up by 2. And there's this guy, I mean, this is how old he is. He's got the old Nokia phone. Remember that? And he goes, no, don't worry. I'm going to, he had a whistle, and he had his Nokia phone. He goes, there's 1 second. I'm going to time 1 second. And when it goes to 0, I'm going to blow my whistle. And we're like, fine, we're up by 2. And in my head, I'm like, right, all we need to do is they're going to launch it down the court, just deny we're all right. Anyway, what happened? The ref goes, they inbound the ball from the baseline. They dribble all the way up the court. Were you playing this game?
I was on the pine, yes.
They dribble up all the way up the court.
Yeah.
They have a shot.
1 second.
Another guy gets a rebound, then passes it out to a guy on the 3-point line, who then shoots, that goes in. Then the guy on the table blows a whistle. He's like, and the ref's like, 3 points. game. It's like, what? You even knew there was a second left. What?
Not quite as bad as that, but I've been on the receiving end of that, where we've had, I think it was 0.8 of a second. The ball has been inbounded, dribbled twice, passed to somebody else who's dribbled, who's then passed to a third person who's taken the match-winning shot.
Oh, that's 4 seconds at least, isn't it?
See where this is as well, and we'll see if it's the same place.
Oh.
That's PE rules or something, isn't it? Where it's like, okay, this is the last chance of possession or last possession, and then as soon as you lose possession, you're out or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's leave that in school. That's nonsense. Utter nonsense.
It's kind of like next basket wins, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. It's like, right, the main clock's out, so it's just whoever wins. Yeah, let's everyone's participated. Yeah. No, I'm here to win. Thank you very much. No, that's not acceptable. But I don't know. I'm happy to be corrected. No, I'm not. But I don't know of many games that have ever been overturned in basketball historically, if they've got these things wrong or a call's been made badly, or they had one recently with the Knicks where the ball was outbound and they called a timeout or something, I believe. But obviously, because it's in the last few minutes, the clock keeps going, and they're like, "Well, that's it, that's game." And then the ref went, "Yes, that's game." And the Knicks were like, "What? Are you kidding me? We had one more offense left than that." And there's an element of, did you know the rules? Maybe maybe you forgot that. But at the same time, they called it. Nothing you can do.
I think the classic one I like is when the US played Russia. Remember that?
Yeah.
And the USA scored the winning basket.
Oh,
the game was over.
Yes.
Everyone thought the game was over, and then for whatever reason, I mean, I haven't seen this in a long time, but I think they put like 0.4 seconds left on the clock. There's one American who's undone his shoes, and he walks back on the court without doing his shoes up. I mean, I probably don't agree with that. It's like you're coming on, like, even if there's half a second, it's like get your head in the game there. But they were so confident, okay, nothing's going to happen. But then Russia launch it down the end, and the guy tips it in, doesn't he? Wins the game.
Yeah.
I've never taken my shoes off that quickly after a game, I'll just say. So, never.
I'll tell you what, this is a bit of Irish crickets for FIBA GB. Cheers.
Good man. Cheers.
The sponsor. Well, that is a painful story. I'm sure the Force will not be thrilled that there's no outcome to that.
It was just, look, it was a fun little topic. If I had more time to prepare, I'm sure there's loads of stories we could do on that. But
absolutely on it.
I knew Bruce would have something with his National League time at Nottingham, so
it's very interesting to know how the international games work as well. That it's still effectively it's whatever local geography you're in.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously you haven't heard that from me, and no one would have heard this either. But yeah, it is. It is the luck of the draw. You get good refs, you get bad refs everywhere you go. You get ones that, and I genuinely believe, I don't think they mean to be biased, but there is just something subconsciously that goes, oh, I might just give them a little bit of leeway there. And I don't think they do it on purpose. Not all of them anyway, some do. But it happens. There is unconscious bias, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. But I know a lot of those countries that you mentioned where the games are playing, they obviously are, I want to say basketball nations, but a lot of them, in credit to them, you go into Italy, for example, there's a lot of basketball in Italy. You go somewhere like Greece or somewhere like that, there's a lot of basketball in Greece. You go to Croatia, there's a lot of these aren't just places that you go, oh, just random. Whereas, maybe that's part of the weakness as well. I know there's the NBA recently did a coaching thing, didn't they, where they come over to London and they're promoting training up coaches and training up also refs and things like that. That's something that they're, so maybe that's a good thing that we've got a pathway to grow.
Yeah, I think there's a whole psychology of refereeing which is really interesting. Look, I'll hold my hand up and say, as a ref, I'm not going to say biased, but as a ref, I've been more lenient on other teams. Like, as an example, I was reffing this was National League under 16s, and this team was losing by about 80 points, and they couldn't even get the ball out over the halfway line because the other team were calling a full-out press, a full-court press. I remember even saying to the coach winning, went, "Coach, you know you're winning by 80, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, we want to win by 200. I'm like, "Why?" And it was like, because of the way the scoring works in the league, and they needed to get more points. I was like, wow, okay. So when the team that were losing by 80 were bringing the ball up and they might have carried it, I wasn't going to call that carry. It's like, and also there's another instance where this was Girls National League under 18, and I was reffing that, and one of the teams was winning by 20, or maybe even more than that, and there was a player who was clearly out of her depth, came on like last minute of the game. She was through onto the basket. She clearly travelled, but she scored. And I thought, am I going to take that basket away from you? Like, that's probably the only basket you're going to score in National League, and I'm going to go travel. And the other team went, there's a travel. And I was like, sorry, I didn't see it. And I don't know if that's
until now.
I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't know. What do you reckon on that one, Bruce?
Yeah, I think you need to watch out for the comments. I think someone's going to comment on that one.
Fantastic.
It was a nothing game. If it was a game that was like, wow, this is going to affect the table, yeah, I'd probably called it. But this was like bottom of the table clash against two teams that meant absolutely nothing. The result meant nothing, and it was like, you know what, that young kid is going to remember that basket for the rest of the year, and they might actually carry on playing basketball because of that basket. For a nothing game that means nothing.
Is that what you've been telling yourself?
I'm not going to call that. I'm not going to call that.
I'll be honest, I think I'm just jealous because I've been called for so many travels in my life. I wish I had someone like you that just gave me a shot once in a while.
Well, you got to be down by 40 for me not to call it.
I mean,
okay.
There's definitely a difference in youth basketball. There's no question. You've got to have that element of leniency, but also you're almost educating the people in a way, aren't you? Like, by doing that. On senior games, though, there's no excuse. It's just, you can't. You just have that black and white thing, don't you?
Yeah.
It is. You're right. You know, we talk about the FIBA side of keeping people in the game, but actually, if you have a bad experience, you have a bad coach when you're a youngster, that turns you off that sport.
Yeah,
100%.
And it could be that you love that sport and all your friends play that sport, but you've got a bad coach, you have a bad experience in a game, or something doesn't go right at that age, at a young age, that can really change your opinion. So I think I might let you off.
I 100% agree with what you're saying. Like, when it comes to men, men, women, mature basketball. So like when you're playing competitive National League, look, you get beat by 50, deal with it. Like, that's my mentality. You deal with that. But yeah, when you're a young team, young National League team,
under
local
16,
team,
you don't need to
like,
get crushed.
When I sort of you see those links online where you'll see, especially in America, where they're like, we don't want to just beat you, we want to humiliate you, then we want to laugh at you whilst you're being humiliated. I can't stand that. When you see, yeah, we beat this team by 152-8, I just think, your coach is, what a loser. Like, why? For what at that age?
It really wound me up. So with the Hoods, we had a full junior program, and some of the league scores you see at under 14, it's like 100 points to 20 or 80 points to 10. You think, what's that actually teaching the kids? The ones that are winning and the ones that are losing. It's not really teaching them anything. So there has to be a limit as to, you have to reach a certain standard, surely, to become a National League side.
Yeah.
If you're going to be beaten by 80 points every weekend, you're going to switch all those kids off playing basketball, and that, who knows where that might lead to them. It really used to wound me up. And we were lucky; we were normally on the good end of those scores. But I went to see some of the kids, and we said, "Oh, good result on the weekend." Said, "Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. I want to play basketball. I want to compete. There's no fun in that. It was embarrassing." We kind of hit a shot and then was sorry. We go back on defense.
But that says to me that those kids were taught right, if that's their mentality.
Yeah,
That's what that says to me. I did wonder, we talked about this off air a long time ago, about maybe if a team loses by, say, 100 points, in the actual league table, they only lose by 30.
Yeah, you put a cap on it.
Yeah,
it's just...
So it doesn't incentivize the team of, right, we got to go and kill them by 200.
I mean, that's how the points difference is and everything, and it's the way that they stagger the tournaments, though, isn't it?
I've got a great technical foul story I've just remembered. Do you want to hear it? This was, I was coaching, this was National League. It was under 16 or under 18. I can't remember. And we had one guard who had got a technical foul in a game. And it was the first time that these kids had played National League before. So one of them getting a T was like a big deal for the team. Anyway, we were playing this away game one evening, and it was, I'll say it like it was local referees, and they were very supportive of the home team, clearly. And it was must have been third quarter. And I went over to the table and looked, and they'd called something like 25 fouls on my team and one foul on the other. And I was like, I just lost it. I was like, you know what it's like sometimes as a coach, you just lose it. So I just shouted, come on, you've called 25 fouls on us, one foul on them. And I remember, I'm not super proud of this, but the referee turned around because she'd literally just called a foul on our team. And she goes, coach, be careful or I'm going to give you a technical foul. And I went, if it improves your refereeing, give me a technical foul. And she teed me up. And what was funny about this is the guy who already had a T on our team, he turned around and went, yeah, welcome to the club, coach. Like that, because he was really proud he wasn't on his own. And literally said it like that. Yeah, welcome to the club, coach. The ref turned around to him and went, number 6, technical foul. You're out of it. And he was like, what? Oh, dear, that was really funny. I would say after that moment, all of a sudden, all these fouls started getting called on their other team because it was highlighted 25-1. But anyway, do you like that story? That was right, wasn't it?
That's a little bit one-sided, 25-1.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was 20-1. I can't remember.
But I think it's fair to say, I haven't played the same level as you guys, but all of us have had a call where you go, all right, I either got away with that, or I took that guy's head off and they've just given me a foul. It's like, I'm surprised that wasn't a technical or a flagrant. Like, I was taking that pick and that guy was going down. He wasn't going anywhere at all.
That was my job. It was soon first beginning of the hooter. We know who their superstar is. You hit them and you hit them hard. You make them think twice for the rest of the game, and that was it. And I'd always pick up a foul in the first 20 seconds of any game, but they did think twice before coming anywhere near me again.
When I dislocate,
I broke one guy's finger once. I don't know if.
I think you dislocated it, Bruce. I think you should be teed up for that. You know what? The one thing I remember about that was I came in so bloody hot. Like I smashed that ball with all my strength, and the ball kept on going up. I just didn't get it. I hit it, and it was like bloody hell. I dislocated my finger. I'm going ow, and the ball's still going up. But I hit that bloody hard. But I think he should have been teed up for that. Anyway.
Yeah, well, they didn't put it in the book, though, so it didn't count.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know the guy that was doing the book, so I was okay.
Home court advantage.
Swift IPA down the pub at the end. Thanks very much.
Well, look, there's a good little topic for you, Mark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thought that was a good little one.
Refs and the bench, look at the other way. Lovely.
Yeah. Are we done with that one now?
That's a nice way to put it, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know which one. I'm not going to press it. I know it's one of those, but I don't know which one it is.
Well, you got press one.
Oh.
Guess.
No. See, that's why I shouldn't have done
it. Every week. The buttons don't change, but you seem to think they do. Well, thank you for tuning in. And Bruce, thank you for joining us on this one. It was just totally random. But yeah, there's always random stories in basketball. And if you've got a random story and you're listening to this, write in ukbasketballpodcast@gmail.com, or check us out on Instagram and check on the socials. Anyway, I've been Mark.
I have been Paul, and go and
I
check
have
out
been Bruce.
Bruce's episode. He's got an episode all about FIBA GB, and it's a smashing episode. So please go listen to that, and it's very informative.
Absolutely.